He said that was
I rarely say that.
Cowboys at Commanders Sunday at 4 p.m. Commanders starting yet another quarterback. What's going on over there?
Who knows?
Start Heineke. You get free Jordans.
Somebody should let Ron Rivera know it's not the preseason right now either. It's the actual regular season.
Dallas favored by 5.5. Dallas not resting players because it'd be nice to get the number 1 seed, and then you can rest. Here's Jerry Jones.
We all know the scenarios that have to happen for us to get a home game in the playoff. And that's one. Two, I certainly would love to have a bye. That's possible. And so those things are very important as we look at it from this perspective today. We've got to take care of business.
Brew, in the morning call, there's a little bit of uproarious laughter when you...
Brew said something shocking.
And we're like, that's going to be great, so here we go.
Why is it shocking?
Brew,
I've been hinting at it for weeks.
What's the question, Wiles?
How do you see the rest of the season playing out for Dallas?
I'm going to say it with 10 toes down, chest out, base. They're losing to Tampa Bay in the first round. They're losing now. Maybe somehow we'll see what happens this weekend. They don't get Tampa Bay.
No, they're getting Tampa.
But if they get Tampa Bay, I believe the Buccaneers will be there. And that two things can be, what does Nick always say? Two things can be true at one time.
That's right.
All right?
Yeah, you say it all the time.
I've heard it before come out of your mouth. This doesn't mean, I'm believing in Tom Brady.
It
I
does.
like Tom Brady. No, it
That's
does.
not how he uses it.
Tom Brady doesn't play to get to the second round. Tom Brady doesn't play to get to the NFC title game.
The Tampa Bay Bucs to beat a 12 or 13 win team
If I was picking them over the Vikings, which I think most of us would you think, you really believe in the Bucs?
I would think that you shouldn't have spent the last month telling me Tampa's dead if you are saying they're in round 2.
I've been saying the same thing about the Cowboys. Either way I went on this, it would have been, you would have did the same thing.
They play their F game, and he believes in Brady.
Look, that's the thing. The Cowboys, Nick, I am a disbeliever in them. All right? I'm not a believer necessarily in Tampa Bay, but I'm a disbeliever in the Cowboys. And here's why. Here's why. The Cowboys, they're second leading scoring team in the league and all that. Last year, the offense was even better. Led the league with 31 points a game. Put 51 on a playoff team, Philadelphia, in the last week of the season, put 56 on Washington a few weeks earlier, and gets to the playoffs against a wild card San Francisco team and scores 17.
Yeah.
They got 7 points heading into the fourth quarter. Here's the other thing. Tom Brady, I don't know if you knew this, 7-0 against the Cowboys in his career.
I didn't know that.
2-0 with Tampa Bay. When they beat Dallas this year, Nick,
this is what I've been saying.
No, you're saying they might get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'm saying they beat Dallas and then bye-bye.
Okay, so
And it's not who you think it is.
One.
Yes. Meanwhile, Rodgers, a win away from the playoffs. Does he deserve the lion's share of credit? No puns on the show. That was just a coincidence. And finally, Wednesday, it's time for Nick's Tears. In 59 minutes, a little teaser. I took a peek at the Tears, to be honest with you. Broussard is upset about where the Eagles are. Alongside Nick Wright, I'm Kevin Wild. Brew, ridiculous. You want to give a little teaser? Don't give away the full movie.
It's just more foolishness from the Tears. I'm sorry. I'm going to be blunt.
Wow, I was expecting a more lighthearted response.
But it is.
Okay. What do you? Guess what? You know what, Wilds?
Yeah.
Brew grew up in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's true.
That's the thing.
My daughter went to Penn.
Oh my God!
I got connections everywhere. That's true. Penn, shout out Penn, the Quakers.
Shouting out the Quakers. 49ers to the Super Bowl, maybe. Brock Purdy believes it. 49ers have the third best record. Here he is with Murph and Mac. Take a listen.
Right when you get on the field, man, I'm a competitor, and that's what my job is. I have to lead guys and do what I can to put up points on the board. And if that's, show some emotion and some drive for my guys to feed off of, then so be it.
Brock Purdy, you wake up in the morning, are you thinking, I can win a Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers? That is on my table. That is in my reach.
Yes, sir. No doubt. That's the mindset right now.
Wow. Would have been awkward if it went the other way. Like, yeah.
Hey, second round.
Do you have any doubts that Brock Purdy can win the Super Bowl?
No. The Niners right now are the team most guaranteed to be in the Super Bowl. While I don't think the Niners are better than the Chiefs team that beat them by 3 touchdowns when they played, the Niners' path is so much more clear than the Chiefs with the Bills and the Bengals in the AFC and potentially the Prince or the Chargers, whomever come out of that 4-5 matchup. This is the most dangerous Niners team that Kyle Shanahan has ever had. This is the most dangerous Niners team since Colin Kaepernick and Jim Harbaugh were in their heyday, and they came a pass away from winning a Super Bowl. This Niners team got exactly what they needed, which I didn't think they were going to get, by having their defense have a bad game this past weekend. Because when Purdy got on this run and I looked at their upcoming schedule, I'm like, well, he's not going to have to prove anything. They play the Raiders and then the Cardinals. And the Raiders bench Carr, and the Cardinals are playing David Blau, and we're never going to see him trailing. But then we did. The defense played a poor game. They were down 10 in the second half, and Brock Purdy was out there dropping dimes. Now, he also had some lucky throws that he was lucky didn't get intercepted. But can we show the numbers, Brew? Since Brock Purdy took over for Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's pretty good.
It's not just pretty good. It is more than you need to win the Super Bowl, or at least get to the Super Bowl, if you have the best running attack and the best defense in football. And I think that's what they have. And when I say running attack, I mean not just running backs, but their running game as a whole.
Right.
Yep.
So absolutely, Brock Purdy can be the quarterback of this year's Super Bowl champion. There's no doubt in my mind.
Okay, I'm with you. I'll start by saying this. I don't think he will lead them to the Super Bowl victory. I do think the team that comes out of the AFC will win it. Now, they obviously have a chance, but Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati,
Sure.
I think those are the 3 best teams in football. But hey, if they get there, they got a shot. With that defense, with those playmakers, they have a shot. Here's the one caveat. And first of all, I don't know how Nick went through like the last decade of 49ers football and didn't mention Jimmy G.
No.
He mentions Kaepernick and
This is a better team. This Niners team is more dangerous than any Jimmy G team ever was.
And they got McCaffrey, who's the best running back they've had in a long time. But anyway,
agrees with me. You disagree.
Here's the one, but you got to admit, this is the one caveat. How is Brock Purdy going to perform in the playoffs?
Well, of course.
And that's a legitimate question. We saw Jalen Hurts in his first playoff game play poorly. Kyler Murray. These are all guys obviously
with
higher ranked than Brock Purdy, and how he did. Lamar Jackson struggled even the year he won the MVP. Had 2 interceptions in the playoff game, I believe it was. And Jimmy G, I'm not even trying to be funny. All right. Okay. Jimmy G, if you look at his numbers, Nick, in the regular season, the 2 years they went to the NFC title game versus the playoffs. Regular season, in 2019, he throws 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
It's terrible in the playoffs.
Right. 250 yards a game. Yeah. In the playoffs, it was 140 a game, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Essentially the same thing last year.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the what if that we have to factor in. The way they look, there's no question he has a shot.
I guess what I would say is Lamar and Kyler struggled in their first playoff game, as did Jalen. I look at this very, very differently because particularly with Lamar and Kyler, those teams were in the playoffs because of their great quarterback or how great their quarterback had played. And so when they had the struggle, the inevitable first playoff game or rookie in the playoff struggle, their team couldn't sustain it. This team does not need, this team can win games with anyone at quarterback. This year. I'm not having a whole Jimmy G long-term thing. This year, they've had 3 quarterbacks start and win games for them. One of them was a literal rookie this year. One of them was a de facto rookie in Trey Lance. And one of them is Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think that this Niners team can sustain mediocre quarterbacking play. And what Purdy showed us against the Raiders is if they're down 10 in the second half, they're not dead.
Yeah.
The way that I think they have been in the past.
That would have been a game-winning drive if the field goal goes in. All right, so let's spin it most optimistically. Suppose Purdy does win the Super Bowl. You benching him for Trey Lance next year?
Oh, no. If he wins the Super Bowl, he has to be your starter.
I agree.
He has to be your starter.
What if he gets to the Super Bowl?
If he gets there and plays well, if he's like not the reason you didn't win,
I think it's an open competition. I think they have so much. Because here's the
I went to the Super Bowl.
Can I say one thing?
One game.
Can I say one thing?
And here's the thing, quickly, Nick. Quickly, whose college pedigree was better? Brock Purdy or Trey Lance?
You know from
Trey
Iowa
Lance
already.
played.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
he's my homeboy from Iowa, but beyond that, Trey Lance played at the Division I double.
No, hold on. Brock Purdy's college production was better, but the whole league saw the college production and passed on him 261 times in the draft. The whole league saw Trey Lance, and everyone agreed he was going to go somewhere in the first round. Now, he wasn't necessarily always going to go number 3. The Niners jumped up to get him. But
he didn't face the competition.
I understand, but coming into the league, Trey Lance was considered a blue-chip prospect, and Brock Purdy was considered a guy who might go in draft.
So was Zach Wilson, but
Yeah.
Fair.
True.
Fair.
Same draft.